Well, I can understand how you feel. You worked hard studying for the spelling bee, and I suppose you feel you let everyone down, and you made a fool out of yourself and everything. But did you notice something, Charlie Brown?
What's that?
The world didn't come to an end.
The world didn't come to an end. Such a beautiful quote delivered there by my boy Linus. Such a powerful yet simple quote. The world didn't come to an end. Charlie Brown laying there on his bed, just lost a spelling bee. He feels like a failure. Feels like he let everybody down. And Linus looks up at him and says, I understand that right now you feel like a failure and you feel like you let everybody down. But remember that the world didn't come to an end. Life goes on. Time keeps moving. You will get through what you're going through. You will not feel like a failure forever. You will not feel like you let everybody down forever. You will not feel these bad emotions forever. I think that simple quote of the world did not come to an end, I think that's such a powerful quote. And I just want to start this episode off by saying that anybody watching, anybody listening that has been through a hard time in their life where you feel like you once felt like you were a failure, you once felt broken, empty, maybe you felt like you couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you felt hopeless. To anybody that's ever been through an experience like this, through a hard time like this, and you've gotten through it, I just want to say I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of anybody that has experienced a hard time like this and has gotten through it. And I don't know if anybody's ever told you that before. I don't know if anybody's ever said to you that they're proud of you for what you've been through. But I just want to tell you that right now. I am proud of anybody that is watching or listening that has been through a hard time in their life and has gotten through it, because it shows some serious strength. It's hard to continue on when you feel these ways, when you feel just completely broken, empty, when you feel like there's no hope. It's hard to keep going. But the fact that you kept going shows some serious strength. And the world didn't come to an end. You just kept going. You just kept pushing. And I'm so proud of you for that. If no one's ever told you it before, I just want to tell you it right now. I'm proud of anybody that has made it through their hard times. And to anybody that's watching right now that maybe you're in your hard time, maybe you're watching and you're like, wow, I currently am the person that feels hopeless. I currently feel like a failure. I feel like I let my parents down, my friends down. I feel like I have no hope. I feel like I have no future. I can't see the light at the end of all this. I hope that today's episode can offer you some comfort and maybe some hope as well. I notice when I look back at my life, whether it be the good times or the bad, there's a similarity. The clock just keeps ticking at the same pace. 1, 2, 3, you know what I'm saying? The clock just keeps ticking at the same pace. The clock has been ticking at the same pace for the last 2,000 years. It's ticking at the same pace right now, and it's going to keep ticking at the same pace till forever, till the end of time. The clock is just moving at the same pace. Time just keeps going at the same steady pace, whether it be the best day of your life or whether it be the day that I found out my best friend passed away to suicide. It doesn't matter which day, which moment it is. The clock and time just keep moving at the same steady pace forever. And you may be like, what? Okay, what's that mean anything? Well, what it means is, it goes back to the saying that I'm sure you've heard before, but time heals all wounds. As long as you just hang in there and keep pushing, with time, you will get through whatever pain you are going through. You will get through the hard time that you are facing. A quote that my dad told me one time, he said, the world always evens itself out. If you were experiencing bad days today, that just means that good days are coming in the future. This is a quote that has stuck with me forever and has remained so true. I look back on the best years of my life. I had bad days in those years, but they were the best year of my life. I still had bad days. And then the worst years of my life, I still had good days. Even though it was the worst year of my life, I still had good days in that year. You know, it doesn't matter if it's the best times or the worst times, you will have the opposite day. If it's the best times, you will have bad days still. And if it's the worst times, you will still have good days. The world will always even itself out. You will not remain in your pit. You will not remain in the valley forever. You will eventually come out of that. And that's something that I just really hope that you can find comfort in, that, yeah, right now you may be feeling pain, but in the future, with time, you will heal. Like we've talked about before, pain is progress. What you are going through right now is only building you into a stronger person. And those good times, a lot of people think, oh man, I wish I could just go back to the good times, back to the good old days, like we talked about in episode 4. I wish I could just go back to when things were so good. Well, listen, things were so good then, but these hard times are just building you into a stronger person. So that means when the new good times come, they're going to be even better than any good time you ever experienced in your past. Because you are going to be such a stronger person because of it. You're going to learn so many more lessons because of these hard times. So don't be thinking, oh, I wish I could go back to when things were so good. Because just have hope that in the future, there's going to be way better days coming. Better days than you have ever experienced. You just have to stick with it. And there's only one way that you won't be able to experience these times. There's only one way you won't make it to these good times, and that is by suicide. Suicide is a permanent solution to temporary problems. I promise you that any problem you have in your life is temporary. You will make it through any problem that you are facing, and that is a guarantee. I guarantee that you will make it through whatever hard time you are going through. The only way you won't make it through is by suicide. Suicide is a permanent solution. There is no coming back from that. Suicide is death, and once you die, you lose everything. You that's the end. You won't be able to experience the growth that you will gain from these hard times. You won't be able to experience the great things that are coming in your future. And let me tell y'all something. The reason why I titled this episode Rock Bottom is because I feel like the reason people commit suicide is because they feel like they are at their rock bottom. The rock bottom, it's a song I heard by Eminem. Eminem lyrics are crazy, so I couldn't necessarily relate to the lyrics that he was saying in this song, but the title itself, Rock Bottom. If you are feeling like you're at the rock bottom, you essentially feel like you can't go any lower. It can't get any worse. You know, I don't care what happens to me. This is what you feel if you're at the rock bottom. You basically feel like you don't care. You know, I don't care what happens to me. It can't get any worse. If anything else happens, I'm basically numb to the pain. It can't get any worse than that. That's what you feel if you are at the rock bottom. But let me tell you something. If you can't get any lower, that means the only direction you can go is up. And I hope that you can find some comfort in that, because I found a lot of comfort in that. I remember when I heard that song, it was on shuffle, and the song Rock Bottom came on. It just happened to be at one of the hardest days of my life, dealing with the loss of my best friend to suicide. In that year, I had a lot of rough days. This was one of the roughest of those days. And this song came on, and I was like, you know what? I do feel like I'm at the rock bottom right now. And I just started thinking, I was like, if it can't get any worse, that means it can only get better. So that means these people telling me that time heals all wounds and that these good days are coming, that means that these days are getting pretty close. If it can't get any worse, it can only get better. And I just hope that you can find some comfort in that statement as well. If it can't get any worse, if you are at the rock bottom, it is only up from here. There's only one direction you can go if it can't go any farther down. If you literally can't go any farther down, you could only go up. And I promise you that good days are coming. You will get through the hard time that you are facing. Just please hang in there and stick with it, because I'm telling y'all, you will get through it. You owe it to yourself, and you deserve to see the good times that are coming. Now, going back a little bit, I started this episode with Charlie Brown, with Linus giving some great advice. The world didn't come to an end. Charlie Brown, if you paid attention to the series, he basically never could catch a break. The dude always seemed to be put on the spot and then fail at whatever he was doing. So in this case, he was entered in this spelling bee. Everyone was hoping that he would win, and he lost. He felt like a failure. He felt like he let everybody down, but Linus comes in and says, the world didn't come to an end. I think that is such powerful advice. It's such powerful advice, and it's something that we should all remember, because we're all going to experience hard times in our lives. And I think that's so important to remember, that as long as we are still here, as long as time is still moving, as long as we are still alive and are still pushing, the world didn't come to an end, and things will get better. And I think that it all kind of ties in with the rock bottom theme. And something I just want to say that if you are feeling this way, if you are feeling hard times, and yeah, it might be a Charlie Brown little thing. I'm not necessarily referring to that now. I'm referring to, like, if y'all are at a hard time in your life, or when you are at a hard time in your life, or when you have been, there's a lot of pain, and it's a lot to deal with. And I just want to say, what's the point of going through the hard times if you don't experience the good times? What's the point of feeling that you're at the rock bottom? What's the point of all this suffering and all this pain if you're gonna not stick around to see the good times? I just want to say to anybody that's feeling like they want to end it all, feeling like they want to take that route and escape their pain by committing suicide, there's honestly no point to that. Because if you're already suffering that much and you know that there are going to be better days coming in the future, wouldn't you rather just stick around so that you can see the good things that are coming? The good things that are coming are going to be better than anything you've ever experienced. So I'm just telling y'all, you owe it to yourself. There's no point in suffering and not experiencing the good. If you're just going to suffer and leave, you're going to miss out on the best part of life, which is all that comes after suffering. You know, after a hurricane, it may look like the city is just destroyed. After the hurricane in New Orleans, I don't know if this is true. I have not been to New Orleans, but let's not even say the New Orleans. Let's not even say Hurricane Katrina. Let's go to like a example. If a tornado rips through a town, doesn't that mean that the town's gonna get rebuilt? Which means that it's gonna have all new buildings, all new houses, all new everything. What's the point of having a hard time rip through you if you're not going to stick around for everything to get rebuilt, newer, better, stronger? There's no point to that. You got to stick around. There's no point to leaving early. You know what I'm saying? I hope this is really getting across here, because I can't necessarily put my thoughts with my words in this situation, but all I'm trying to say is, if you are experiencing a hard time, please stick around for the rebuild, because the rebuild is going to be better than anything you've ever known. And there's a lot of other issues regarding mental health that we might not have tapped into as much this season. One of them being anxiety. A lot of people, including myself, have experienced anxiety in their lives. I experienced a lot of anxiety my freshman year of college. Anytime I had a test and like 5 assignments and like 4 meetings coming up, I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is too much. This is just too much. But I just would remember, I just find comfort in the fact that no matter what happens on this test, no matter if I pass or fail the test, no matter if I get the assignment done or not, no matter if I make the meeting or not, no matter what happens in this upcoming week, month, whatever, no matter what happens, time is just going to keep going on. Life will go on. It will not be the end of me. If I fail the test, I'm not going to die. Life is just going to keep going on. If I, maybe put it in your own life, if I don't do as good on this project I have coming up at work, life is going to keep going on regardless. If I don't know, there's a lot of things that cause anxiety, but the main cause of anxiety is a fear of failure, a fear of things not going well, or a fear of not wanting to put in the work, which you should put in the work. But if you don't fear failure, because if you fail, what's going to happen? Life's just going to keep going on. Yeah, you may miss out on something that you may have wanted, but that's just going to open the door for something even better. If something doesn't work out, it wasn't supposed to work out. So just remember that. Remember that if you're facing any anxiety, and you can kind of relate it back to this. The world's not going to come to an end if it doesn't go well, you know? You got to just remember that life will keep going on. Don't let the fear of the future steer your mind away from the present moment. Don't let the mistakes you've made in the past rob your mind from the present moment. And don't make the fear of the future rob your mind from the present moment. The future is going to be whatever it is. And you can't change the past. All you can truly control is the present moment. So if you have a test coming up, if you got a test coming up, if you got a big project coming up at work, whatever you have coming up that you're stressing about, just do whatever you can do in the present moment to take care of it, and let the rest be what it is. All you can control is the present moment. There's truly no point in stressing over the present moment, and truly no point in stressing over the future, because all you can control is the present moment. Sorry about that. But that's something I realized my freshman year, when I'd always have anxiety about things that were coming up in the future, and I truly just took a step back and was like, you know what, it's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. Everything that I'm worried about, everything that is driving me crazy is going to work out. It's going to work out exactly how it's supposed to work out. And there's no point in me even worrying about it, because I can't control what's coming in the future. I mean, you could maybe prepare for it. You can maybe work for it. But you can't know what's going to happen until it happens. Sometimes I even would be stressing out about stuff and having anxiety about stuff that wouldn't even happen. I would be stressing out about conversations that we wouldn't even have. That's something that I think a lot of people have. They're stressed about, oh my gosh, when I see my coworker tomorrow, it's going to be so awkward. Then they aren't even there. They're like sick or something. Or you see them and it's just not even a big deal, you know? There's no need to stress about the future. I think a lot of people can relate to that one. All you can control is the present moment. So I just want everybody that's facing anxiety to remember that. We're going to talk a lot more about anxiety in the next couple episodes. And I can't completely give the best advice on anxiety, but that is probably my best advice. And just remembering, the world's not going to come to an end regardless of the outcome of whatever you're stressing out about. And I don't know, you could really relate that back to what we've been talking about this episode. But just to recap, I'm not going to make this episode's not going to be one of those 30, 40, 50-minute ones. I'm going to end this around 20, just like we did in the old days. Season 1 and Season 2, just like we did in the old days. But just to recap, shout out to Linus, shout out to Charlie Brown, the Peanuts. That was some great advice. It may just be a little cartoon, but I think it's so much deeper than that. I think a lot of us can relate to feeling like a failure, to feeling some very uncomfortable and hard emotions. Everyone has or will go through a hard time, and I just want you to remember in your hard time that time is just going to keep ticking. Time is just going to keep moving at the same pace, and as long as you just keep hanging in there, keep sticking around, eventually this storm will pass. The Bible says this too shall pass. This pain that you are facing right now will pass. Pain is temporary. All pain that you face in your life is temporary. The only permanent would be death. And death would mean suicide in this situation. And please, nobody ever let that be an option. That can never be an option, because you owe it to yourself. If you are going through some serious pain, you owe it to yourself to see the other side of that. You owe it to yourself to see the rebuild and to experience the rebuild. I hope that message I was trying to say earlier came across, because I really feel like that was strong. Let me try to say it one more time, just in case. Picture a city, about 50-year-old buildings, 50-year-old houses. Tornado comes through, sweeps it all away. At that moment, it is the rock bottom. That is destruction. That is a lot of pain that is being faced. Sorry. A lot of pain that's being faced. But then there's going to be a rebuild, and you're going to get brand new buildings, brand new towns, brand new houses. Everything's going to be brand new. And yeah, you may think back and be like, oh, I do miss the old days. But what you have now is so much better. So much better. And you could apply that in your own life. You are who you are right now. Hard time comes in, rips it all apart, but it's all going to be rebuilt. It's all going to build back together. And you owe it to yourself to experience that. And I just want to say, you will experience that. Just hang in there, man. Hang in there. There is no point. What's the point in feeling all this pain if you don't get to experience the other side of it? So hang in there, man. Hang in there. You owe it to yourself. And I just want to say one more thing before I die up here. I have had COVID all week, and it has not been treating me well. Hold up one sec. Sheesh. It's finally getting to me here in the 20th minute, but gosh, I need to drink some water after this. But I've had COVID all week. I've been dying. It sucked. I had chills all over my body. Couldn't even move on Wednesday. And then yesterday I couldn't even talk. And right now I'm dying still. Jeez. I'm going to get some water. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Whew. Sorry guys. All right. So I've had COVID all week. I've been really, it's been tough. It's been tough. I'm not going to lie. I've been thinking like, oh, will I get this episode recorded? Will it be what it needs to be? Will it be good enough? But listen to me, y'all. Being sick, unless you are just insanely sick to where you can't accomplish what you need to accomplish, being sick is merely an excuse. I could have used the excuse of, oh, I have COVID, I'm too sick to record this week. But I was like, you know what? No. I don't got time for excuses. The person who makes excuses is the person who will watch their dreams go by. You know, this episode, I'm putting in a lot of work for this episode. And it's taking a lot of work to get this one out. First of all, trying to heal myself enough to even be able to talk. Second of all, I'm trying to make my head hurt enough, the head feel good enough, not hurt enough, to even focus on this episode. I'm going to have to take another drink. Hold up. Sheesh. But yeah, it's been a lot of work to get my body feeling good enough to get this episode recorded. And it's Friday night right now, and I'm finally getting it done. And I just want to say, man, if you have a dream, there's going to be a lot of tests that come your way. You know, the devil doesn't mess with people that he doesn't need to mess with. He only messes with people that are trying to do good. If you are doing good, you will have a lot of hurdles thrown your way. Because the devil, if you're not getting messed with, that might be a warning sign, you know, because the devil sees a guy or a girl or somebody doing good, and he's like, you know what, that's who I need to focus on. I need to throw a lot of obstacles their way. I need to give them a lot of adversity. You know what I'm saying? So if you are experiencing a lot of hurdles in what you're doing, jump those hurdles, baby. Kick them down. You don't even need to jump them. Pick them up, throw them out the way. You know, there ain't no rules in this track race, you know what I'm saying? The devil's going to throw a lot of hurdles your way if you're truly doing something good. Don't let those hurdles become excuses. Power through them. Punch them down and keep moving, because you owe it to yourself to see your dreams, you know, to make your life be what it truly wants to be. I'm starting to just ramble at this point. These coughs are throwing me off, but man, I'm just saying, I'm proud of anybody that's following their dreams. Don't let an excuse hold you back. There's a lot of excuses out there. Like I said, I could have used this COVID situation as an excuse not to record this week, but I was like, you know what? Nah. You know, a lot of people were telling me, hey, take a week off, man. You need a rest week. I'm like, bro, I don't got time to rest. This could be my last day. You know, you don't know when death is coming. And yeah, I'm only 21, so I pray that it's nowhere close to now. You know, pray. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's not guaranteed. Today's the day to chase your dream. Stop making excuses. Yeah, you may be sick. Yeah, you may be busy. But you will have time, and you can find time. You can find the strength to do what you truly want to do. You can find the strength to chase your dream if you truly want it that bad. And I want to say that to everybody. Don't hold yourself back by making excuses. The average person out there would say that having COVID means you should probably take the day off, take the week off, and just postpone episode 6 to next week. But nah, I'm not trying to be like that. I'm trying to really go for this. And yeah, I'm sorry for all the coughs at the end there. I hope this episode really hit today. Season 3 merch coming real soon, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm excited to release it. And yeah, man, hey, I hope y'all have a great week. My brother's hopping on here next week for episode 7. That's going to be my guest, Carson Huggins. I'm excited to have him on finally after all these years. I told him I'd get him on season 1, so after all these years, what am I even talking about? This hasn't been around for a year. All right, y'all, before I just ramble some crazy stuff out, I'm going to end it. I'm going to go take some medicine, and I love you guys. Have a great week. I'll see you next Monday. I hope it was fire. Jeez. Jeez. Gosh.